I'm not one of them mainstream cunts, I'm that one full of pain and love.
Do you think population control is a real thing?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, okay. So what do you mean by that? Like, what do you mean by population control?
An example, in China, when they banned families from having more than, what was it, like 2 or 1 child?
I think it was
Yeah,
one.
to stop the population from expanding.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Here, no. Maybe in some places, yes. Yeah.
Okay, you were saying, like, here, no, but in other places. Like, what do you mean by that?
Well, I guess when you're talking population control, you're talking about things like the China's one-child policy that they have and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, well, we don't have that, so that's what I mean.
Good question. I wasn't ready for that. Well, I don't know.
No.
Honestly, I don't know. I don't have a proper answer.
Potentially. I'm not sure it's as black and white as people might think it is. But yeah, there's potentially population control going on. Yeah.
So what would population control look like though?
I think it's more closely resembles what you see them did to the Aboriginal cultures in Australia, where they straight sterilised them. That's more of a black and white version of population control. That's plain in your face population control. Sterilisation of females, stopping them from being able to give birth to babies. So that to me is population control.
Absolutely. It was actually something they wanted to do back in World War II as a weapon they wanted to use, and they started creating certain things that would change the way food and things would be put into products to change the way hormones would enter into our children as they grew up. As we know today, we've got a lot of boys that aren't the way boys used to be in the 80s. The testosterone levels have changed. When you go out now, you're seeing 9 men to 1 woman. So yes, population control is of course, someone's trying to control it. There is a big push I've noticed in society on men. That's what I'm noticing. It's very, very, very comfortable now that gay men can be gay and it's all fine. I don't see many women on women anymore. That's totally disappeared since the early 2000s. The men on men thing has me concerned because that definitely changes population. Yeah. We're only going to have gay men in the world. We're not going to have children. And you're never going to be fathers.
It's true.
So we need to think about how far do we want to push women out of society, and we need to really look at that in a deep way, and also think about the men that are out there trying to look for family and women and are doing it hard when there's only maybe 1 woman to every 8-9 men. So it is creating a population situation where peer pressure is creating other men to end up feeling lonely and be with other men. So yes, we have an issue happening with that. And I think that's come out of Hollywood because they made it so through movies and scenes on TV, they've desensitized so much and it's all okay now. Where not once upon a time, but yes, once it was used to be more looked at to be, you know, express yourself and be who you are. Don't worry about the identity, just be who you are. And that's all it was about. And yeah, population control, that's definitely just one side of it. Then with the COVID, with the vaccine, well, that's already wiping out our Indigenous. We've got that many orphan Indigenous kids already waiting to be placed in homes because their mothers are already gone because they've had 1 shot and they're clotted up. So we're losing our culture here in Australia already. I feel like Victoria's being we're being looked at because we are the last Britain of the Queen's monarch. We are Australia. People forget that, and we are Victoria, and we have certain things here that are totally different to anywhere else in Australia. So sometimes I think the world should really look at what's going on here also. And maybe don't think you've all been through this lockdown because this is nothing compared to the lockdowns that are going on in the world.
To a certain degree, I would say so. Like you can see As in to try and control the numbers, you can always see the population with immigration, that it keeps going up with cities expanding and everything. In terms of control, I myself am not too sure what measures I guess are really put in place. But expansion's one thing, reduction I'm not too sure.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so explain. What do you mean by this?
So population, usually it revolves like the government trying to control us, you know. But I know what my parents have been talking a lot about it, but I don't know fully all about it. But yeah, I've heard it a lot as well. So yeah.
Well, it looks like it is for me. It's getting real matter now. Especially you can see it with the current situation and what's happening around. You always like think about it. I mean, if this situation, if COVID is something that it's happening for a reason. I mean, if it was done by someone or it was created by humans. But yeah, I mean, I think it's to control the population is not a freak thing. It's a real thing.
I hope you don't mind if I ask a clarification question. You mean population control as in there being a group of individuals deciding a rate of birth and death?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so elaborate. Do you think, like, what would population control essentially be if it was in Australia?
Well, every culture practices it. Because eventually, either that man or that woman gets a little too one way or the other. And they'll always make good excuses for always having more children. And they'll always be very emotional about having the excuses. But at the end of the day, how many people can we really feed? That is where population control always kind of forms as a group in a given thing. Whether it be Aboriginal culture, which I represent, or even in politics, demographics, or things of the like.